the European LCS. I'm joined here at the analyst table by Joe Miller and Martin Deficio Lunga to break down Alliance's win over SK Gaming. Guys, let's start and pick some bans because obviously SK coming in with a solid plan, but leaving the Twisted Fate open, not the best thing to do.
Yeah, I think solid plan probably isn't the word, more of a risky plan because they ban Elise and then they hope Alliance will first pick Lee Sin because Elise and Lee Sin are the two big junglers at the moment. So either they hope for first pick Lee Sin from Alliance and then Jesus can pick up TF, a champion he's been spamming the last few days in solo queue, or they just want to trade them back and forth. Like, so you get TF, we take Lee Sin, we get a strong pick each, but then they don't have a counter pick for the Twisted Fate, so that idea was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was a very weird start to pick some bans for me because we know that Froggen puts a priority in Twisted Fate and has already first picked it in other games as well. To leave that open then and hope that you are going to leave it, I mean, the fact is we can see that Jez has been spamming Twisted Fate, so Alliance know that he's been spamming Twisted Fate. If Twisted Fate's open and Froggen's already taken it before, why would he let Jesus get it? It was just very strange. SK didn't seem really there today.
Yeah, they did mention it also on social media. There was a lot about how many we can't make the mistakes we made last time, but it seems like maybe they realized they made those mistakes and it immediately transcended into the early game as well.
Well, we can at least say they made a lot of mistakes. Like, the entire game was actually SK Gaming mistakes. First blood on Candy Panda, he's playing Caitlyn, he has Morgana with him. Black Shield was ready for Unrated. The E from Caitlyn, the net was ready, the flash was ready, and yet he actually gets bubbled and ends up dying. I mean, there's no excuse. You can even see the bubble travel from Nami to hit Caitlyn. Black Shield from Unrated, flash it if you think you're going to die from it. He didn't, first blood Alliance. And then leaving into the Dragon fight, which is the one we're going to highlight now, so we can just pull up the replay on your guys' screen at home. The Dragon fight itself is such a weird decision by SK Gaming and a big, big mistake once we actually get it up here. So it's paused now. Notice how Renekton doesn't have teleport at this point. He already teleported to the top lane. Wicked does have teleport on Lulu, so he can always join in, making it 5 versus 4 in favor of Alliance, of course. And if we just roll the clip here, we even see Candy Panda only has a pickaxe because he was forced to go back early. He couldn't get a BF sword, so he's very weak at this point. They're not able to kill Shook. They invest everything into killing one guy here. Orianna ult is down, Caitlyn ult is gone, and then Nami just comes in, or Nif comes in from the side. Beautiful tidal wave, and 5 members from Alliance can just clean up. Freddy is stuck in his top lane without teleport, and yes, they got the dragon, but it was such a terrible call, and there was no way they would ever get out of it alive, and therefore they just gave up even more gold to Alliance.
And another Black Shield that came in really weirdly halfway through that. Well, Jesus wasn't even in the fight, he was halfway through it. Throw it onto him when you've got the tidal wave and bubbles to come afterwards. I actually think that N-rated today as a whole seemed to be off his game somewhat. Yeah. You mentioned already the first blood, and I'm sure we're going to hear via Twitter and what have you what exactly the problem was for SK today, but that's not the second place SK that we know.
Yeah, a final question about that. We saw that they had 3 different opinions in the pre-video. One saying, I can handle Frog and I play versus those players every day. Jess is Freddy saying, we're scared that makes us make a mistake, and Candy, if we don't make those mistakes, we can handle them. How vital is it for, as a pro team, to go into a game with the same mindset?
I think every team going in with the mindset of not making any mistakes, but if you're nervous going into the game, if Candy Panda and N-Rated was nervous in the bot lane for whatever reason, maybe it could be the reason they didn't play like we normally see them play. I mean, Jess in the mid lane looked fine in the laning phase. He got a CS lead against Froggen because Orianna is a very strong laner and Twisted Fate is more just farm and then impact the side lanes instead. But overall, SK Gaming as a team, the calls weren't there. I mean, the misplays just for the players themselves. It was a stomp. I mean, Alliance showed they were the better team, and SK Gaming once again also show the early game isn't the best thing for them.
Yeah, and SK obviously realized this, you know, if you come in with different mindsets, in my opinion, you're never really going to do well. Even if you come in with a bad mindset, it's good if you all have that mindset, because at least you're then on the same page. Although SK were on the same page, surrender after 20 minutes. I mean, they were at a point in the game where they knew that they'd already lost it and probably felt, you know, this is pointless. We're wasting our time with this one. We can go on and prepare for our next games.
Yeah, you do need 4 votes to surrender, so some of them were on the same page. Anyway, they have to talk about this because they still have a match coming up later today, so we can see how they can bounce back from that. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Now let's send it back over to Demon and Quickshot for our next match.